Hey everybody, quick update of what we're going to do for modifications for the next time to the track. Now, as you know, this was our first full passes with the new setup here, and weight reduction over the winter, and with the T5 trans. Now, my neighbor went with me, and he does a lot of bracket racing. And matter of fact, the Wednesday nights that you can go out and just do the fun drags, you can actually do bracket racing too. So that way, he said you'll get a lot more passes in, because if you fall out of the bracket, if you lose first or second round, you just go over to the fun lanes, and then you get. So we ended up getting like 7 passes last time, so that worked out pretty good. But obviously, a couple things, anything we can do to help consistency, particularly with a manual, we're going to give it a shot. One thing I did was I installed a line lock, as you can see here, and you can see the light, you can hear it click. So this is all set up. I wired that to the cigarette lighter for the power. I don't care if it's on all the time. I mean, if you're not going anywhere, what's it matter? But nonetheless, so that will help get us a good burnout. That's obviously a little bit of a challenge with a manual. And then I did post a video on this clutch tamer, and what this does is it's got 2 adjustments. One, when you just dump the clutch, you start with your pedal stop. You have to have the pedal stop so that your pedal starts in the same position every time. And I just welded a nut onto the pedal with a bolt that I can adjust, and I got a pad up here so it doesn't make a clunking noise, but I wanted it to go right above the carpet. And so that starts there, and then what happens, you adjust the center one. When you pop the clutch, it immediately goes to this position, or basically lets your pedal out about that much. And hopefully that's the sweet spot, which is what you have to dial in, where you got just enough drag for the car to hook, but not so much that it's going to totally bog it down. And then you adjust this here, is how fast the cylinder releases or lets go. So you got 2 different adjustments here. It takes a little tweaking to dial in, but it's good for guys if you got really high horsepower and a real grippy clutch. It'll help prevent, take some of the harshness out of the hit. You can use it for that, or you can use it just for consistency. But also, if you go on the Clutch Tamer website, there's a lot of good information about just optimizing and maximizing your engine's torque through your clutch, basically making this an adjustable clutch, so you can keep your wheel speed up, keep your RPMs up, and not fall out of the power band with these couple of adjustments. And particularly if you want to, it uses it on every shift. So even when you shift gears, it'll help keep you from dropping too low in your RPMs, and hopefully keeps your car in the power band. And I also liked that the owner responds to any questions immediately. I really like that support on that. I've had a lot of questions on this back and forth when I ordered it, and obviously I made the video of the installation to make sure I had it installed right. I posted the video for the owner. I don't know if you saw that in the description, but he got back to me immediately, and we've been back and forth numerous times. I haven't even gone out and tested this yet, again, because I was installing the line lock. But I'm confident. Well, I'm not confident it's going to really be a whole lot better for me. I've got the King Cobra clutch, which isn't too grippy, and I'm about 310 horsepower or something, so not super high horsepower. And I've got 31 spline axles in the back. I've beefed up the T5, with all the basic, cluster support, steel bearing retainer, all that kind of stuff. Tightened up the input shaft, and got the solid keys for the 2-3 shift. So far that's good. And I put a Steeda triax in here, and immediately, the very first time I took it to the track where I got 1 pass, I missed 3rd gear. But with the Steeda triax, I didn't miss 1 gear the whole night. Of course, I wasn't like power shifting or anything, but still, it's very nice, much better than the cheapy Amazon one. Now, if you're just driving around on the street, the little cheapy Amazon one, like 37 or 40 bucks, or I'm sure this is the same one everybody gets off eBay, like Black Horse Racing or whatever it's called, that'd be fine. But for drag racing, this one I like a lot better. So, but also while we had, here's the line lock installation, how I did it. An 86, the 86 master cylinder is a little different than the 87 and up, but obviously the larger portion here is for your front brake. So I just went out of that, obviously to the end of the line lock, and then out into the distribution block, and then that separates it to the two brakes. So I know it's a little different routing than some people do. We'll give it a shot. It seems like other guys with 86s have had success using it that way. So all I did was, had to take the line. I had to rebend this line, and I had to reuse the fitting here. I had actually cut it off the original line and used it because it does not come with. I bought the Hurst, the whole kit, obviously from LMR. It's like $170. As you can see, I used two of the lines out of there. And I think I used two fittings. And I've got all this extra stuff from this kit. So I don't know if it's worth, this is $100 and then another $60 for the miscellaneous stuff. I mean, I'm sure I could have gone and got the other things there. I had to rent the double flaring tool. I could have went and got two lines and a couple of, I only used these two fittings right there. And then these two lines. That's all I used out of the whole kit. So if you got an 86, I really don't think it's beneficial to buy this whole kit. But if you got 87 and up, maybe that's more useful to you. But while I was in there, and one thing I noticed were these old, my front brake hoses. I had noticed were starting to deteriorate. So I ordered some new ones and figured while I'm in here, I might as well do it and bleed the brakes. So I got two new disc brake hoses here. I've only got one rubber hose left in the back, but that one's okay. And obviously that's only like 30% of your braking. This is obviously much more important to get that up there. So I got that. I made an adjustment on my coil springs, or excuse me, coil overs. These are the these are Viking 14-inch, 150-pound. And if anybody's got more experience with coil overs than I do, my car weighs 2,700 pounds, race ready with me in the seat, and I would like to think that maybe I should go to a lighter spring, or a 12-inch, maybe a 12-inch 125 or something, because when I put these on, the car was a lot heavier. And then I actually started out with 14 175s and dropped down to these, but I'm still not getting. I think I should get a lot more weight transfer with a shorter and maybe a 12-inch 125 or something. But if anybody knows a car that weighs around 2,700 pounds, race weight, what the recommended coil spring is for the front, I'd appreciate it if somebody's more knowledgeable than myself. But nonetheless, so we cleaned up all the brakes and new hoses. So we got that squared away, got the line lock installed, and then the last thing I want to do, I don't know if I'll get it done before the next track session, but I do want to put a two-step in, an ignition box. And I've gone over that, but I'm going to try the Pertronics digital. And that one has a two-step. It actually start retard if you got very high compression. It'll drop the timing back while you're starting the car, so the engine will crank over easier. And it's got a burnout. It does have a burnout limiter, a high-end limiter. Obviously, your high-end limiter, but I have that built in. Obviously, I can modify that with the quarter horse. But the two-step, the launch RPM is what I'm most interested in, to get that consistent. Anything I can help with the consistency, launching a manual, I'm willing to try it. So that's next on my agenda, and to install a shift light. So obviously, I want to shift consistently as much as I can with a manual. But anyway, that's the update for now. Oh, I also did I ordered a new cam, but we'll go through this combo. The cam I have in there was actually for my old combo before, for last year, and it is a custom cam, but spec'd out, before the heads were ported. I had shorty headers, I had an automatic, so, and I had smog equipment on here and everything else. So now they're going to spec out a cam for drag racing, not really for, you know, trying to pass emissions with it, but a drag race cam for this complete combo. Again, getting one from Ed Curtis from FTI Cams. He's working on it now, so we'll get that maybe towards the fall. We'll see, but I imagine I won't have the cam for a good 3 weeks or so, and then we'll install it when we're maxed out of this combo. All right, everybody, thanks. I know this one's a little long one for myself. I normally post shorter ones, but just wanted to go over the changes for next week. I hope to be at the track next Wednesday. Okay, thanks, everybody.